Going back a few years on my channel, I have a playlist and a series called Choo Choo Chat, where sometimes I sit down with an esteemed railway guest or friend or colleague and I ask them a whole bunch of questions. And the first time I ever did that, maybe 2018, was with Ian at Broome Station. You, in fact, came up with the phrase Choo Choo Chat, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm back in Wales and a bit of Shropshire, because you may have just seen the series of 4 videos where I've done the Heart of Wales challenge over 4 days. That's now complete. I finished yesterday.
Yeah.
And you came up, Ian Marchant, everyone, with the brilliant idea of like, Geoff, why don't I sit down and do a Choo Choo Chat, but with you asking the questions on me. So having finished the challenge, we've come back to one of the weirdest stations,
Llangunthlow.
Thank you, which is literally in someone's back garden.
Mrs. Deacon's back garden.
Who offered you a cup of tea.
She did, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit and just chat for an hour. I don't know what you're going to ask me. That's a lie. We've prepared a little bit. But you have questions to ask.
I am. Yeah.
So with the announcements going, a train's due to come through whilst we're sat here.
Yeah.
Which, pretend I haven't done this.
All right.
And you do an intro to be like, hi, welcome to YouTube. And we're here today with Geoff Marshall. See how that happens.
So we've been kind of talking. And I think people are sort of fascinated. Of course they are.
Are they?
By you.
Don't say that.
You've got 450 million. You've got a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, we passed 300. I think we. Who's we?
Yeah.
But, at the end of last year, 300,000. Yeah, which is nice.
Who is we then, Geoff?
Me and I was like the royal we. You know, we're off. We're off and running. What are you asking?
Well, of course, there's a we. There's Geoff, this kind of energetic, enthusiastic, brilliant broadcaster, really excellent filmmaker, one who's made lots and lots of people follow in your footsteps. You have, who was there before you went to Newhaven Marine Station that fateful day?
Was that 2011, 12, 10?
Something like that,
yeah. For those of you that don't know, if you've not read Ian's book and listened to his radio programme, it was the
Parallel Line.
But it was the radio programme that you went to.
The Ghost Trains of Old England, still available to hear. Yeah.
You went to Newhaven Marine, and I'd listened to that, and part of me went, I must go to Newhaven Marine. But I knew it was an 8 o'clock train in the evening, and it was like a June or July evening, and I said to Vicky, it's daylight, summer, what are you doing this Friday? She's like, nothing. I was like, let's go to the coast and make a video.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. Yeah, I think that was one of the first proper railway videos I ever did.
But who was there before you? I mean, there weren't many people before you, were there? Who was just, essentially it's mucking about on trains, isn't it? It's the enjoyment of trains for their own sake, of the railway for its own sake. Yeah,
so when I tell this in there's a video on my channel called My YouTube Story, and certainly when I did the Londonist Secrets Tube videos, I made those because I remember getting to a point where I was like, I want to watch more tube content on YouTube, and it wasn't really there in the quality or style that I wanted, and so I rapidly came to the conclusion that I was the person that should make those videos that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And that's how that started in 2010, 11. Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. That's what happened with Parallel Lines. I wanted a 1-volume, light-hearted history of the railway for an ordinarily interested reader.
So you're saying it didn't exist until you wrote that?
I don't think there are many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you were one of the very, very first.
Thank you.
Opened up the railway to thousands of people in a new way.
Right.
So, tell me about, how did you get to be a railway enthusiast? What was the beginning of that?
I was predominantly a bus enthusiast many years ago through my cousins. I feel like I have told this story before.
Yes, but not with the camera going.
Okay. And they took me to my older...
Not to me, anyway.
Not to you. My older cousins, when I was a very small boy, took me on a Saturday ticket, a red bus ride that cost 60p, that let you ride all the buses in London.
Yeah.
And one of the buses they wanted to ride was the 247B, which ran on market Saturdays only, up at Ongar in deepest Essex. And they went to ride the bus, and they dragged along 10-year-old Jeffrey. But to get there, we had to get the Central Line, change at Epping, and then get this weird shuttle train out to Ongar. And all I remember thinking on the way back is, I've gone to an extremity of the tube map. And then it just made me started looking at the tube map loads and wondering what was at the other extremities. And later when I then in my teenage years when I had a bit of pocket money or paper round money, me and my friend Simon just one day went to Cheshire randomly one day. We were in H&B in Oxford Street being cool, buying records. And suddenly I was a bit bored. And I was like, do you want to go and get the train up to Cheshire? And he was like, sure. And so we just hopped on with our travel cards, went out of zone and just went up to Cheshire randomly just because we could, for no other reason. Because it was there to travel to.
In Parallel Lines, I wrote about my failed attempt to go around the tube in a day.
You did.
And you wrote to me
oh no,
and
did
said,
I?
I'm the world record holder.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's brilliant.
No, that's so bad.
It's brilliant. So,
it's a bit embarrassing.
It's not, though.
Have you still got the email?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, no.
No, of course. It's a beautiful thing to do.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing to do.
Right.
I wish I could have done it.
Right.
You know.
You never got around the whole network?
No.
Does that mean there's still bits of the tube network you've not been to?
No.
Have you coloured in the whole of the tube map?
I have.
Okay,
yeah.
just checking.
Yeah. Because I went back a few days later and sort of finished it.
You didn't put that in the book,
But I
did you?
didn't put that in the book.
Okay.
And I don't claim to have done it. You know what?
Okay. But you wanted to be completionist, to say that you coloured in all the tube map.
Yeah.
As you
the
write.
Fairlop loop, you know.
Yeah. Hainault loop.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
All controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairlop meters better. You can make a poem called The Fairlop, a John Betjeman poem called Along the Fairlop Loop, the children playing cricket beside. You could do all that. Whereas the Hainault is a bit southeast, isn't it?
Hainault, mate.
The Hainault.
Hainault. All right.
Yes, so I did that. But what you did was kind of beautiful because it took, if you like, railway enthusiasm, which for years had been okay. It was hip in the war. It was hip in the war because Ian Allen published the first ABC guide. And what hobbies could boys have in the war? Essentially nothing. There was nothing for them to do. So he invented the ticking off of numbers of engines. And boys swarmed to the yards, mostly boys, swarmed to the yards to tick off the ABC books. That's kind of the early 1940s. By the time, we get to when you did it, a train spotter is like the worst thing to be. What you are part of the process. The Great Bear is another part of the process. I think the rewriting of the map as a kind of work of art. So people started having the tube map on their wall. But you're the first person, I think, who said, we're going to have an adventure. It's going to be a tube adventure.
Sure.
And it's going to involve all the things you do. Running, the extremities of the tube, timetabling, all of that.
What, in terms of video, not in terms of tube challenge?
No, just
people have done
first...
tube challenge for since the 1960s.
Yeah.
But in terms of documenting it.
Yeah.
But the technology hadn't been around to so easily document it, and that's why I was frustrated on YouTube that there wasn't sort of slick quality productions that made me think I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeah. So therefore, let's face it, one of the skills you have is a technical background.
Yes, that definitely helps.
So that was immediately one of the things that you brought to the party when it came to making videos, and is a skill, I presume, I imagine, because you're your own editor, aren't you?
Yes, like 95% of the time. Yeah. Occasionally, other people get to hack away. Yeah. What I should add is that I had always grown up watching BBC and the BBC News, and I liked their style. And I worked for the BBC, and I watched journalists put packages, they call them, like a 2-minute thing. We're going to go do a thing, and here's a 2-minute video. And there's a very definite style in which they do it. Right, I'm going to go to this thing, I'm going to set up, here's some shots, here's a cutaway. Right? Anytime you see me do a shot where there's like some greenery in the foreground and there's a slightly out of focus train in the background, that's just stolen from the BBC from 20 years ago, because that's what they always do, is their cutaway with an interview. They still do it to this day. It's a standard shot. So when I started making YouTube videos, I was like, I should always go and get a cutaway of a plant or a bush. My favourite now is to do one where I walk along with my feet and you get like some sort of flower blowing in the breeze, and then Jeff's feet walk through the frame. And
how do you do that?
Well, you set the camera down, put it in manual, I manually expose it and manually focus it on the thing, and then I walk through the frame. And so you slowly go out of focus. Or you can reverse it, or you can have one where you walk to and you slowly walk into focus, which is even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of moonwalking? Yeah.
Just for you, in my next video, Ian.
But, so people could learn the tech stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And they could maybe learn some of the stuff about shots and that.
Sure.
Kind of simply by watching things like the news.
That's what I used to do, yeah. I'll still watch things now. Sometimes I'll go and watch a movie in the cinema. Movie, I'm so American. I go watch...
Sure.
And I'll sit there and I'll be like, I wonder how they got that shot. It's really good. And then I'll go home and like Google and look up the YouTube of making of the movie and then watch sort of the behind the scenes as to how they made it. Yeah. And you think, of course, they had a camera there and then they had a grip and a dolly come through here and a crane did that. And it's like, I watch how movies are made. And then it gives you ideas as to how to make movies rather than just wobble a camera about in your face.
Yeah.
Which is fine on one level for YouTube, but occasionally you want a more professional looking shot.
When you started No.8 Marine Station, 2010, we're not sure when.
Your fault, yeah.
Was the kit, how radically different was the kit? How much it has changed over the last
I had a big
years?
Sony video camera back then, and nowadays, as we're using now, it's just an SLR stills camera. It has got beautiful video functionality built into it. But you can walk around with tiny little cameras the size of a pencil nowadays, and it still shoots 1080 HD. The thing they always say is that nowadays the quality's got so good, the kit doesn't matter. So people always go, "What camera do you use?" And the answer really is, it doesn't matter what camera you use. It's the shots you get with it and how you edit it that actually matters.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think, if I get
the right kit.
If I get the right kit, no, you can use your phone.
I used to play in a band with a bass player who wasn't very good.
But he thought if he had the best guitar, that it would somehow magically... That's like me at football. When I used to play football in my 20s and 30s, I used to play five-a-side. We'll get back to this later, my football analogy. I am terrible at football, right? I cannot kick a ball for toffee. But part of me thought, if I got some really good football shoes, that would somehow magically make me like 10% better. No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
You can go and play football in a pair of dirty old trainers that several that are beat up, and it's the skill you have in your body and feet that make you a good footballer, not the shoes you wear.
So you post right. How old is YouTube? My voice has gone squeaky, Geoff.
Go get some of your water.
I'm just gonna. It's more than water, Geoff.
I signed up to YouTube in 2006.
Wow, it's as old as that.
But I didn't really start posting regularly till 2009-10. I think YouTube came online in about 2005. What many people don't remember is that Google had a subdomain. Instead of www.google.something, it was video.google.com, and Google already had like a video website, and then they bought YouTube, and then they sort of ported everything over from video.google.com onto their YouTube site, which had been bought by them it was a separate thing. I can't remember the guy that made YouTube.
There you are. YouTube has offered those opportunities, and you started sharing. But I've shared a few videos on YouTube. Let's be frank, they're not as good as yours. So I don't wish in any way to compare a video I uploaded of me rapping in 2014, which has so far had 900 views.
Which I have seen. I had to wash my eyes out afterwards. Yeah, it's fine.
But you start posting them.
Yeah.
And then how do you get from, if you like, 900 viewers to and then you start to get subscribers? I mean, that's a really interesting leap, I think, to make.
That's the ultimate question, and the answer is I don't know. But all I can tell you is what I did, and then that will be the answer. That is the way to do it. And what I definitely remember, it's a bit shocking to think of this, is that nowadays it's all like, how many subs you got, and how many views, and how many subscribers. I've got to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then blah blah blah. And I honestly remember not knowing about any of this, being obsessed about subscribers, and I got to 3,000 subscribers without really knowing or looking. And somebody once said to me one day, they went, "Oh, you've got 3,000 subscribers," and I went, "Is that a thing? Is that good?" I literally had no idea, and they went, "Yeah," and I remember thinking, well, I haven't really tried. I've uploaded a couple of random fun videos. And at that time, you could go and use the YouTube space in London, their studios and facilities, if you had 5,000 subscribers, although later they bumped it up to 10,000. And now, because COVID, they closed it. It doesn't exist at all. And I remember thinking, I've got to 3,000 subscribers without trying. What if I actually tried? And then
So what did trying look like at that point?
Putting out, I would say, putting stuff out on a regular basis, and just of a decent quality, of a decent standard. And it's like, if you put out enough stuff that people find interesting, then people will come to you. I suppose it definitely helped that I was sort of first-ish in doing sort of railway stuff in the style that I did, you know. And certainly, if you're the first or something, and then everybody sort of follows along, then presumably the person that goes first has always got the advantage. I suppose that helps, but I don't know. It just comes down to if people like the videos that you make. You just got to keep plugging away. Trouble is, if the entire world down tools tomorrow and decided to just make videos, then
we'd all die.
We would all die. But you know,
of hunger and. Yeah,
but it's like everybody just can't make videos. Just like everybody can't play footballers, or everybody can't be rock star singers. You know, it just, you know, the world, you know, levels itself out. Yeah, and you're right. And there's probably people out there that make really good stuff, have done it for a long time, and never maybe get the success that they deserve. But you can say that about any profession. Anytime you sort of watch the X Factor or any of those talent shows, you think, well, they're a really good singer.
Yeah,
look at them; they're amazing. They can sing.
Yeah,
you know. And they've got the look, and they can do right. And then and then they don't get any success. You might just go to your local pub one night and be like, "This person's brilliant. Why aren't they on stage? Why aren't they the next Beyonce at Wembley Arena?" I don't know. It happens. And then, or maybe there's some kid in your local park playing football, and he's a brilliant footballer, but he struggles to he never makes the breakthrough into even the lower leagues to make the higher leagues.
Yeah.
Some people just get luck, get the breaks. I don't know. It does seem very unfair.
It's different, but it's different with what you do from those things you said, because
why? It's a profession like any other profession.
The kid in the park, the football scouts see him. If he gets lucky, they sign them up. In my case, I got seen by somebody who was scouting for writers. I got a little grant. I got an agent who got me after some trying a publisher. It went critically well. I've always been supported by the critics. I've always found sympathetic editors. The bookshops have kind of been supportive, and so I've done all right. But I followed a classical career path for a writer. There is no career path for what you do.
Because it's only been going 10, 15, 20 years.
And you invented it to some extent.
Well, yes, thank you, but also no.
But yeah, it's a very new profession, what you do.
Yeah, so to answer your question is that we still don't know, because you could say it's still in a phase where everybody is figuring it out, how it works. The worry is at some point the saturation point will be reached and everybody will be like, okay, we've had enough now, there's too many people doing YouTube or videos or whatever, or it's like, oh, we're bored of this, or YouTube will just morph into something else. Everybody will just bugger off and go and watch TikTok instead.
Yeah.
Can I say bugger? Do I have to edit that? I might have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Quality though,
right,
will out.
But quality should rise to the surface.
Should rise to the surface.
Should,
yeah.
in a fair and just world.
Yeah. And so, we're now going to have to talk about you as a performer.
Uh-oh.
Your charisma as a performer. Because you've got the kit, you've got the tech skills,
sure.
You've got this kind of world that you can explore that is the railway.
Yeah.
You've got all of that.
Yeah.
You've got how to make a shot. From that very first video, they all have there's a recognisable style. Obviously it evolves, but you can see the beginning of the sort of style there. But the reason people like it is because they like you. I like you. You can't blame them. I haven't met you. I saw you on the thing and liked you.
The kindest comment I often get, thank you, is people just go, there's a thread of like enthusiasm. You know, I sort of get excited and enthusiastic. I've also seen that. I've seen some people really hate that, and I've seen comments on other videos where they go, ugh, Geoff's just doing his fake enthusiasm again. And I'm like, no, it's not fake. I genuinely get excited when you get a train to somewhere, because it's fun. It's real fun. Yeah. And so what you see is me being, I love it. I love that we're at this little tiny station on the Heart of Wales this week.
Mrs. Deakin's Garden.
In Mrs. Deakin's Garden. All the fun I've had on this railway this week.
It's been great.
Is real, because it's blooming amazing. It's like this little dinky, almost overgrown, abandoned line running its pokey trains. That's amazing. Yeah, let's go and have some fun telling a story about what it's like to be on there. So that's genuine. So that definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've got to have a personality and an enthusiasm for your subject, no matter what it is. This isn't just trains. So whatever you're doing, on YouTube, if you just sit there and you sort of, it doesn't come across as real, then that probably doesn't help. So it's real. My enthusiasm is real.
I think if people can't, I think people can see that. They wouldn't watch you if it wasn't real.
Right. I don't know who it is, madam, if you're watching. She's probably not. But there was a mother, and I did a tweet one day, sort of being slightly sort of, shooting myself down a bit, kind of going, oh, I'm at another stupid station. And she sent a picture of her and her husband and her son at a station. I think they'd been out on the trains yesterday. She literally went, but Geoff, you have to remember what you've done is that you've made it cool, to ride trains again and go
Absolutely.
out. And she loved it. And we had a little chat, and she was like, thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
And that was a really nice moment.
Absolutely. And I can absolutely see that. And I've been at live events at which you're very good. And I've seen that in the kind of audience. I think the nation fell in love with...
Why? Really?
Yeah. Because, they make it. There's an end point, isn't there? There's the beginnings. Episode 1, you set off from Penzance.
Mm.
And then there's episode, you'll know better than me.
It's 59 episodes in total.
Yeah. And you rock up at Thurso or Wick?
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
It's 6 years ago, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Do you know...
And so it's a complete. So it's like a drama. It's like the Tiger King, isn't it, or something?
Yeah. You'll make me sad if you ask about that.
I don't want to make you sad. You don't deserve to be sad.
Do you know what's freaky about that though? Okay,
What?
so because I've been everywhere on the trains on the railway. So anywhere I go now in Britain by train, unless ironically it's a new station, which is part of the reason why I go to a new station. But anywhere I go, oh yeah, I was here in 2017.
Yeah.
Wherever I go,
Yeah.
I can't escape that.
No.
Yeah.
Not even Llangumslow, where you probably didn't.
Yeah.
Which was.
Yeah, because when I was riding the line this week, I had flashback. I was at Sugarloaf with Gareth, but I got out at Sugarloaf in 2017. So part of me was like, I remember being here in 2017.
Yeah.
And it's anywhere I go on the railway, I could always remember it.
Yeah.
Well, except for the bit around Bradford. Bradford, for some reason, I've kind of blocked that out.
Have you?
I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a day up in Yorkshire that it was a blurry day, and I've watched back that video, and I go, I don't remember this. this fun. I watch it through fresh eyes.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Do you like watching your stuff?
I do. I know some people don't, but I do, purely because I go, that's terrible, or that edit was bad, or I wouldn't do that again, or that was good, I should do that again, or I forgot I did that, or I watch back some of my own stuff to remind myself, have I improved?
And do you watch it from the point of view of a performer? Right, I've said to you, what you do is showbiz.
Sure. Wow. Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Short educational films, right? But they used to be presented by Zoe Ball's dad. What's his name? Mr. Ball.
Johnny Ball.
Johnny Ball.
Think of a number.
Yeah.
Oh no, I used to love that.
Yeah. So you're in that sort of. That's what you do.
But with trains.
But with trains.
Well, sorry, but with railways.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, railways. So you short educational films for all the family.
Right.
Enthusiasm. Manly good looks, like Johnny Ball had. To some extent, you are in showbiz.
Well, I used to do. I still do a little bit. I did improv comedy when I lived in America in the USA. I signed up to an improv. I went to see an improv comedy show, and I thought that looks fun, and I signed up, and that taught me how to be on stage where you're literally talking to an audience, which is no different to talking to like a camera. But that's actually just based upon university days, even though I don't have a degree. I used to do student radio back when I was 17, 18, 19. And that, because I used to like radio as a boy, when I got a chance to do radio, I was like, but I was really terrible at it to begin with, and then I got better.
Yeah.
So that taught me how to just like talk and project and pause and think and do intonation and have a funny word and then make it serious. And then being on stage then taught me to like sort of present. And so then you put a camera on me, and I was like, this is combining sort of those radio skills with, stand-up, being on stage skills, but just remember to look into the lens now and then that's.
Oh, you didn't mean then?
No, not then. Yeah, and that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're right. Sure, but it's like being on stage, but with the black lens staring at you.
Yeah. And of course, like all showbiz, it's not always easy, is it?
Go on. Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm rubbing my eye now.
Yeah. Well, the point is, like
It's
I say,
not always easy to be in the public eye.
well, not certainly everybody doesn't always like you. People kind of go, "Oh, I don't like your videos." What always gets me is when people go, "Oh, I like this channel, but I don't like yours," or "This channel's better than yours," right? Which is a bit weird because it's like going, "Well, you know, I like EastEnders, but not Coronation Street," and it's like, "Well, that's fine. That's normal. You have that choice. That's okay. You can either watch one or not the other, or you can watch both, or you can watch 20 different types of TV programs, but you don't."
Yeah.
You don't feel the need to sort of to broadcast what your loves and hates are. Just enjoy what you enjoy, and
Yeah.
then get on with your life and your day. That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange when people want to just tell you how much they don't like you.
Can we talk very briefly about ADHD?
Yeah.
Because you've had a diagnosis, haven't you?
Oh man.
I'm getting the water
I
again
get mine as well.
to fend him off.
Yeah, we'll have a water break.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll forget that you've asked the awkward question.
I won't.
Oh sure, thanks man.
But that's very interesting, isn't it?
Sure. Oh, this is so awkward.
Why did you think you needed a diagnosis, or why did that help?
It just became apparent that probably, that I've been told by people I was maybe many things, or maybe you're this, or maybe you're that, and I just started to sort of Google things and think about it and talk about the way I acted, and then I was on a train with someone going up to Edinburgh for the festival last summer, and I don't want to name them, I was chatting to my friend, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm classic ADHD," and I was like, and we just got into this conversation about it for like 4 hours on the train going up to Edinburgh, and all the while I was in Edinburgh, I was like, okay, when I get back, I'm going to go and get myself like a proper test. And you do the simple online test first of all, and it's like, yeah, you probably are, but like go to a qualified professional.
ADHD tester.
Yeah, and it's like 3 hours. It's just a conversation with someone, but there's a checklist.
Yeah.
And he sort of ticks the boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tick 95% of the boxes. And he's like, yeah, you're pretty much 100%. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the ADHD, what is interesting is that it's a classic case. I can be at home doing something, and then my mind will just wander. I'll be like, oh, why don't I go and do that other thing? And I'll just drop what I'm doing now and walk off into another room and go do something else. And whilst I'm doing that, I'll be like, oh, I've had an idea. Like my creative mind goes, oh, and then I think, oh, well, I'll go and do that other thing. And after I've done a chain of 6 things, I'll be like, what was I doing an hour ago? Oh, I was in the kitchen, and I go back to that first activity. So it's in a way, it's weird multitasking because I sort of do 6 things at once. I'll start something and then I'll finish it much later, and I'll sort of come back to it. And I do that, but what's handy about that is that in the video editing world, is that if you could just sit and edit for 4 hours straight, I don't think that's as good as if you edit for an hour, then walk away, and then come back. So one of the greatest things that I learned, and I always say, but I do break this rule sometimes, just because it's good to be first, is you never release a video on the day that you shoot it, right?
Yeah.
What I like to do is make my video in never just sit down in one 4-hour binge, do an hour, walk away, come back, do half an hour, walk away, come back, do 20 minutes, walk away, come back, do another hour, do it, but do it in bursts, right? Because your mind gets a chance to sort of refresh and replenish. And in an ADHD world, you think, oh, have I put the bins out, or have I fed the cat? I don't have a cat.
Yeah.
Have I? But you'll think,
You'd like a cat, though, wouldn't you?
A cat would be great. Yeah, cat person, not a dog person.
Yeah.
But then I like to finish a video and then sleep on it, and then in the morning get up and watch my video back and go, is this? And almost always, 9 out of 10 times, you think, I'll tweak that, I'll change that, I'll edit that shot, I'll put that bit there instead, and then I release it.
It's a very useful thing. I'm currently helping a cult actor, not terribly famous perhaps actor, but one role that he's very, very famous for, to write his memoir. And we've got to the point where I said, now you have to put it in the drawer for the next 2 or 3 weeks, writing slowly. You know,
Literally, you put it away,
put it away,
come back to it.
come back to it
Same
2 or
thing.
3 weeks later. Yeah.
But the pressure of YouTube, the expression we have in the YouTube world, is that you have to feed the Google monster. Because if you don't feed the algorithm, it'll be like, oh, we'll go and promote somebody else instead. Then, you know, people demand like output. Frequently.
You know, I've come to see you as an excellent filmmaker,
Thank you.
and to do that takes a bit longer, and you need a bit of development money, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you need a bit more time. You can't sort of work on an idea and start doing it
Right.
without stopping feeding the Google monster.
That's one of the biggest things I have. I've definitely got some things now on my list. Every YouTuber has a list, whether it be like a notepad file or a spreadsheet, and some of them are like,
YouTubers or choo-choo-tubers?
all right, YouTubers. We all have a list,
Yeah.
and some of mine are like, this would take a month to go away and research and film and shoot properly, but I don't have the luxury of that time because I need to feed the monster this week and turn around something within a day or two. Yeah. Some very big YouTubers. Everyone knows, like Mark Rober, for example, is this sort of he's an engineer scientist in America. He makes incredible videos, but he literally just like drops one every 2 months because he's managed to grow to a point where he's got the luxury to do that, and they're amazing and it's really good. I think everybody would aspire to be like that, but we don't live in a world where that's possible.
And would he have a team helping
Oh, he's
him with?
definitely got a team helping him. Yeah, the bigger you get, the more people you have.
Have you got a team?
No, I have a couple of friends that I can occasionally go, do you want to edit this for me? And that's it. That's the extent of my team.
Timetablers? Can you do all of that? What you do involves something
Oh,
I
that's
can't
true.
do.
Okay.
I can't begin to follow when you're
So-
saying, okay, you've got to pick me up from here and I can catch the thing. And
Yeah.
then I can
Okay. So I've got my beloved friend Dave. He knows who he is. And what we call in the 2017 adventure. What was
The
it?
Railway Adventure of 2017.
When that happened, he was predominant. I went to him. I've got a network of like nerdy friends, right? Because the other kind thing that people say is they go, "Oh, Geoff, you know everything about trains." I don't. I really don't know everything about trains. Like I don't know all the numbers. I never professed to know all the numbers. Sometimes I forget if it's in a 377 or 375. I get that wrong. The other day I was like, oh, that class 387. Yeah, and Papa was like, Geoff, it's a class 357. I was like, yeah, I get it wrong. Yeah. And people are very kind. They go, oh, but you know everything. I'm like, no, I don't. And I never, ever profess to know everything. What I do know is that I know other people who probably will know everything. And quite often I text friends going, do you know where the thing is? Or do you know? Or the other thing that I clearly do in my videos is that I'll turn up. I'm doing by the time this goes out, I've probably done it. We're doing an overnight freight engineering thing, right? And I don't know about how this operation works, but that's the point of my videos. I don't turn up and go, I know all about this. No, I point the camera in the face of someone whose job it is, who does know about it, and I go, tell us about what you do in your job. I make films about the railway. I do not profess to know anything about the railway because there are other brilliant people out there that do know more than me.
And I, of course, am already going, overnight freight operation.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. What?
We're riding a loco overnight. Through London. One of those strange trains you get in the middle of the night when you think, what's that freight train doing on my local commuter track? Yeah, we're going to go and ride one. It'd be brilliant. But that's all I do. I enjoy making videos that are stories about the railway, and I'm going to jump right back to. I felt like I should have said this earlier. I read an amazing quote the other day. I was like, that's interesting. Somebody quite big on YouTube came out and said, I don't really enjoy making videos. And I was like, what? I was like, you clearly make a lot of videos. That's your thing. They went, I enjoy telling stories. And I was like, and they went, and video just happens to be a brilliant medium for telling stories. And I was like, I'm going to steal that quote. Yeah. That's a really good quote. And yeah, sometimes like making a video is a slog, you know? It's because you got to like get the shot, go back, get the shot again. When I made those you got me going now, I've warmed up, it's only taken me half an hour. When I made all my end of the line videos on the tube, which I'm still doing by the way, right? Morden, right? Yeah. It's like a 6-minute video. Yeah. I went 5 times to Morden to go back at the right time to get the shot. I come home and go, I can do that better. I went one day it was raining. It's like, no, I really want to do it on a day it's not raining. I want to go back at the nighttime shot. One day my mic broke and all the audio didn't work. 5 times. And some of those I go back multiple occasions. And I'm like, what a ball ache. This is a slog. But I enjoy putting it together. And the end product is this beautiful little thing that tells a story. Yeah. And that's the other important thing, is that your video has to tell a story. But this is classic. You can't just turn up at a station and go, well, we're here and that's it. Oh,
The waste paper bag is rustling in the wind.
well, that's why I invented blowing bin bags in the breeze.
Yeah.
It became like a bit of a Geoff video meme. But your video has to tell a story. But this is basic stuff. It's like, so whenever I start a video, I almost always go, today we're here and we're doing this and we're going to see this or find out that, travel that, and you're like, oh, and you're drawn in, and then it plays out.
Yeah.
Right, and in the end, you kind of go, and what did we conclude?
Yeah.
What did we learn? But that's just basic storytelling.
Yeah.
Set up, play it out, conclusion.
Well,
and if you do that every time,
Yeah.
then people will usually watch.
Since we're on that arc,
Uh-oh.
and I feel that we're beginning to go.
No, I have
So-
more. I can do this for another hour now. I have strong opinions about video storytelling.
Well, go on.
Okay, my other favourite thing is it bugs me to high heaven when you see people go, and I'm guilty of this too. I've definitely done this in the past, so I'm having a go at myself. You go out and you film a whole bunch of stuff, and people go, oh, I've made a brilliant video today. I've been out and filmed, oh, it's going to be brilliant. Oh, I've got all these shots. And it's like, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
All you've done is you've bought the ingredients to make the cake. You've been to the shop.
Yeah.
And you've bought the eggs and the flour and the milk.
Yeah.
But you've got to go to the kitchen and craft that together to make
Yeah.
your cake. All you've done is got the ingredients to make your cake. So when you get back with your SD card, you haven't made a video at all.
No.
That's when you start to make the video.
Yeah.
And it is all in the edit. It is absolutely in the edit, and it is how you edit it that makes or breaks whether that video is any good. How you construct it to tell your story and put it together, it's at the moment that you edit it. And people often say that sound is more important than video. That is true. You can put up with a shaky shot as long as you can hear what's going on. So it's actually better to get the audio right than it is to get video. And then some people then say that, how you edit it is better. But what I would finesse that is, I would say it's your pacing. So pacing comes first, then the sound, and then the video track is bottom. So how you pace your video in terms of too long, too short. No, this bit needs to be long, followed by a short bit, followed by an exciting bit, followed by a quiet bit, followed by what's going to happen next bit. How you structure that is the most important thing, and it's really hard to get right every time.
Yeah.
I do feel like I've got my soapbox a bit. Is that okay? Is that what you wanted?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. But like I say,
Pacing is the key.
I think people want to know, to get to know you, to know what you like. I'm sorry,
Okay.
and that commitment to what you do is kind of really interesting. So, what next? Because I happen to know that you've got another storytelling project in mind.
Which one?
The show you're writing.
Oh, the show. Okay.
And previewing secretly in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. So back in 2014. Yeah, based upon my world record exploits on the tube, I did a 10-night, 2-week-ish run, weekdays only, at Edinburgh with a show called Tube Spotting that I previewed at the Transport Museum, and I did it again in 2015 and 16 just for fun, and then kind of parked it. And it's it's storytelling, but on stage. Yeah, I took all my tube elements, went back to stage, which is fun to kind of perform and present and make people laugh and give them an entertaining time. And I thought recently, I should do that again. So it's coming again, if everything goes to plan, in 2023.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what it's called?
I do.
I've called it World's Biggest Tube Nerd.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a great title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Copyright me that title.
Yeah.
There will be a show.
You can't copyright titles.
I know you can't copyright colours either. Okay, let's not go there.
Yeah.
It's about 90% complete. I would confidently predict at some point this year there will be. I'll do an announcement that says there's a show, stage show, comedy. I tell you what, it's adult only.
Is it?
Yeah, which I know will disappoint younger viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might use.
Dang it!
I might use a naughty word or two for comedic purposes. You understand.
Yeah.
So there will be a new Geoff stage show coming. It's a coming. I've been secretly working on it for months. Now you've just revealed it.
Well, I think this is the time, and that's so. That's still about storytelling, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, because in it, it's I've taken loads of true stories. Some of them a little bit like, no, did that happen? I'm like, yeah, it really did. Actually, yeah, some sort of unbelievable, stupid, ridiculous things, and then piece it together into a more complete story arc. But this is the same. It's like, I can't give away the theme of the show, but it's like, hey everyone, we're going to do this, and then we play it out, and then at the end, it's like, and what did we learn, and what did we conclude? Yeah, it's like watching a live video, but over an hour. You should come.
I'd love to, except with the slight problem that I live 5 miles away from Llangunthlow station.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deakin's garden, people said to me,
maybe.
Oh, that's Mrs. Deakin's garden.
Why don't we see if she's up? I could do like a little. I could bring my projector. We'll do it in her kitchen.
Good.
We'll do like a Welsh edition.
She offered me a cup of tea last time I was there.
She could serve tea and cake.
Yeah.
I'll do a show to the village of Llangunthlow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really not going to name names and so on and so forth. But you are unaccountably single. Now, I'm a bloke. And what's more, I'm a heterosexual bloke. But I'm a camp heterosexual bloke.
Where are you going with this?
On a lonely platform in Midwest. Wow. No, what I'm saying is when I look at you, I see a very well-made man. Blue eyes.
Blonde hair.
Yeah. Tall. Really interesting job.
Thanks.
Travel all over the UK.
Right.
Maybe travel elsewhere.
Sure.
Perhaps you're thinking about. You bring all of these things to the party. Yeah, you're a bit sort of like enthusiastic, but...
What's wrong with that?
No, it's good. You're funny, you're erudite. Or erudite. We haven't...
I want to make a joke.
Go on.
I want to say, what does that mean? What's a joke?
Yeah. Somewhere, someone's going to...
Really?
Some enchanted evening, I promised I wouldn't sing. You may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across the crowd.
In a minute, we'll get the belly out. Are you saying I should...
Railway platform.
Are you saying I'm going to get marriage number 3 in the bag any day now? Because it's buy 2, get 1 for 3, right? So the third one I shouldn't have to pay for, right?
Listen, baby, I'm on my 3rd marriage. That's show business. That's what show business is like. If you're in show business, you have to get married at least 3 times.
Wow.
It's the law.
Okay.
No, I just think that, you've achieved all of this kind of stuff. You've got a sort of vision for what you might like to do going forward.
Yeah. But
I still somewhat envy you what you do.
Yeah, but it's...
And I thought I might end up thinking, I wouldn't want to do that. But part of me thinks, it's kind of fun and action and running and
but it's terrible,
meeting people.
Because some days I genuinely think, I just make stupid YouTube videos. How would you counter-argue that?
I don't think you do. My last book took me 3 years to write. I spend 3 years writing a book. It comes out. It garners reviews. If you're lucky, the shops like it.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you pick up the odd radio interview.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you sort of pick up more of this. We do it because, you clearly love what you do.
Yeah.
Even when sometimes you don't think you do.
Just it's a surreal world to sort of to be in sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the thing that I feel like I'm best at doing. So then I think, well, why shouldn't I do the thing that I feel I'm content and best at doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing about it, and having worked, I've done, I say proper jobs. Is it a proper job? Well, it is a proper job, but some people might say it's not a proper job. But I've definitely done jobs where you have a boss, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing
I've
about
had those. So them I feel sorry for, actually.
But the greatest thing about doing your own, being your own boss, and doing YouTube is that you don't have a boss looming over you, telling you what to do. So you don't have any of that, I hate my boss pressure. But that is the worst thing, right? Because sometimes when you get up on a dreary, cold, snowy February Monday morning, right, there is no desk to be at by 9 a.m. There is no boss saying, come to work or you're fired, right? And it's all on you to self-motivate yourself. And if you haven't got that drive within you to get up and do it, then what? You've got to come up with ideas, come up with new ideas, fresh ideas, have a creative thing that no one else has done before. If you stagnate, or you've got to crack your own whip because there's no boss chasing you down, and you just can't call in sick one day and go, I don't fancy it today. You've got to get on and do it. So it's a huge asset, but it's a huge pressure at the same time.
Which do you prefer, do you think? Being behind the camera, which you never are, of course, weirdly,
Sure.
or in front of them? If you could choose one.
What, like you can only do one forever? No, don't ask that. That's the impossible question.
All right, I won't.
Well, you did now, and you know I've got to
Yeah.
answer it.
We don't have to.
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But there's no.
What's your favourite colour?
We had a rule. No superlatives.
All right.
Okay. You can ask me what my favourite film is, Nick, or what my favourite YouTube channel is.
Yeah.
What my favourite type of biscuit is.
Yeah. What is your favourite type of biscuit?
The ones that you're about to serve me back at your house when we go back in a minute for a
You're
cup
out
of
of
tea.
luck, mate.
Okay.
Wait
can
till
we
you see.
can we stop
Yeah.
at the co-op on the way back?
All right.
All right. What was the question? Oh, behind the camera, in front of the camera. No, both. It probably ties into the ADHD thing. It's like I want to do the whole be in control. Yeah, I want to have the idea and shoot it and be on camera and edit it and direct it and do the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But YouTube lets you do that because in traditional world of media, TV and films, you know, like TV is still really super. I have friends that work in TV, and it's still super structured. It's like, yeah, this is your role, and you would just do your role, and don't. There's an expression in TV. It's called "stay in your lane." It's like don't go out of lane. If you're assigned this role, that's it. If you're assigned this role, that's all you do.
Yeah.
And don't be like, oh, I've got an idea. Don't do that.
No.
And, oh my God, you'll get your wrist slapping TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do your thing and that's it. But when you're in control and you're doing YouTube, you can be like, I'll do this and I'll do that. Oh, I'll come and do some of that. And that's the freedom and flexibility that it gives you.
Radio's more fun.
Is it?
Fancy that? Yeah, much more fun.
But when I was a
It's only
student...
you and a producer, or even just you.
Yeah. No, well, back in my student days, I was like radio. I think I grew up listening to Tommy Boyd on LBC. Oh, is Tommy Boyd still alive?
I don't know.
I really want Tommy Boyd to still be alive.
Didn't he do the rock show or something?
He did many things. But he was like my first love on the radio on LBC.
Yeah.
And I always thought I want to be on the radio.
Yeah.
So when I'm done with the YouTubes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I retire, yeah, I'll go and do a radio show somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Oh, does someone want to give me a radio show?
Go on.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Like a late night.
None of my producers obviously don't give him work, but
No. When you're no longer here, I'll pick
Yeah.
up all your radio work. Is that right?
yeah, all right.
Could you
yeah.
put that in your will?
Yeah, I could put that in my will. Yeah, of course I could. Yeah. They won't take any notice. You don't fancy broadcast TV?
No, yes, no. It's fun to do once in a while, but I wouldn't want to do it all the time. I'm doing a TV thing next week, but I'll have to stay in my lane and just do what I'm told. Because if I'm on TV, they'll be like, Geoff, come and present this thing, and the performer in me will absolutely want to go. Oh, you know what we could do? We could do a thing where I know that I'll start like suggesting things, and they'll be like, no, stay in your lane and just do the thing we told you to do. And
Yeah.
that I'd find that quite restrictive.
Yeah.
I want to have fun.
Yeah.
I just want to get out and have fun. Life is generally terrible and awful and is filled with pain and misery and death, ultimately death for everyone, and people get ill and sad and struggle with terrible things, and the world just generally is a bit shitty right now for all sorts of reasons. And every time I make a fun railway video, I hope it gets through, and I'm getting a little bit, that's weird. Because I remember that tweet with the mother and the boy going, Geoff, you've made railways cool and fun again, and I think that's a really amazing thing. And I still hold true to the thing where it's like, if you're having a terrible time, you can, sure, you got to pay for it, might cost a couple of quid, you can just go for a train ride, and it just kind of resets your mind and eases thing, and it makes you feel better about the world. I remember in the week, we hadn't really been anywhere this year in 2023, not long distance. I remember in May when it came up with the idea that maybe now this summer I should come and do a Heart of Wales line. I just got really excited. That genuinely, in the week before, I spoke to my friend Dave and he helped me with the timetable and working out the route and stuff. And literally 3 days before, I'm giddy with excitement, going, I'm so excited. I'm going to Wales next. Genuine, completely. I was so excited, and that's what getting out and going on a train can do. the expression, the thrill is in the chase, not in the capture, right? The week leading up to doing this, I had a spreadsheet, and I'm working at the times, and I got my map, and I'm drawing a map, and that's part of it. I've started the adventure then in the planning and the mapping and the thinking of it, and then you actually come and do it, and that's all right. And then you make the video, and then you have the third wave of like, I get to edit it, and then you see it all. Gosh, there's that in itself is a story. Look, I've just done the three stage arc: the planning, the doing, and then the editing. Oh, it's like a meta reference to my own thing. Is that weird? Stop me from talking. By the way, what you should know is that just a minute ago we had to stop for an edit because Mrs. Deacon in the house appeared.
And she's making us tea.
And she's like, do you want a cup of tea? In a minute.
It's her garden we're in.
We're going to walk.
Literally.
Yeah, the station is in her garden. Yeah.
But, Mrs. Deacon, thank you so much.
We're still filming.
Look at that.
Are you happy to sit there for a minute?
Yes.
Okay, so Mrs. Deacon's just going to join us. Ian, let's do a wrap up.
Yeah.
I want to sincerely acknowledge that I do recognise that what I do, some people might see as a little bit of a privilege, and I get that.
It's hard work, yeah.
But it's still a job and it's still hard work. But there's definitely, I am reminded continually that it's great that people click and watch and follow, and I'm very humbly grateful to all the people that do. And I hope it's a two-way thing. I give out some stuff, and then they enjoy it too, and then maybe it inspires them to go and do some stuff, and that's a beautiful thing. And I'm just trying to sort of create something and put nice stuff out into the world.
I think you do.
And
Shall we say goodbye? Marchant.
What part are you from?
well, I'm from London, right?
Oh, you're from London.
Mr. Deacon, I think
Mr. Deacon,
at this point, if you slide in,
Go on.
and just tell us briefly how long have you been at Llangollen Station?
Well, I can't tell you exactly.
Many
it's
years.
in the 60s.
Okay, and is it weird having a train station effectively in your back garden?
Well, it's outside my window, you know.
It's right. It's a brilliant thing.
So if you're thinking of catching the train to Landor or something, you can look out the window and think, the train's been there.
You gotta be careful. It'll go by.
Shall we all say goodbye then?
I think we should wrap up.
Can
Yeah,
you say goodbye?
Mr. Deacon, can you wave goodbye to the internet?
Oh,
Goodbye. And Ian to say goodbye. Ian, thank you, sir,
friend.
and thank you for driving me around this week.
Yeah, it's my huge pleasure.
It's been an amazing
And
week.
thank you to Mr. Deacon for the
Thanks for
tea.
and that's it. And we're going to fade to my credit screen about now.
And
Okay.
funny, you should be from London.
He's from London.
Yeah.
I'm not.
My daughter's in London.